we will party hard.
Wow. Nice. Welcome to the Boken Boys Gamble Their Rent Away, Part J, Janoris, JackRabbit, Jenkins, who you will hear later in the episode is one of the leading people in the NFL with interceptions.
Number 2.
Well, I wanted to leave it up for listening to the OwlEatsFootball.com part of the episode. And basketball now. He also eats basketball. So let's go into picks from last week, which I've regressed heavily. Technically lost $125. Went 2-9.
That's not good.
No, not at all. The only 2 I won were just, I believe, 2 overs as well. I didn't get any. I'm pretty sure, I don't have it up because I was very angry when I looked at it. UNC fucking lost. Oklahoma, the wheels actually did come off, but the wheels are back on. I don't know if you saw. The Sooner Schooner is fully repaired and ready to go.
You can't put the wheels back on once they've fallen off.
Doesn't work. They did. Anywho,
their playoff hopes are probably gone.
Probably, but there's some hope. The hope is, so Georgia plays Florida, so one of them is out.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, if they have 2, they both have a loss. So if one of them loses, they're out.
Oh, one of them is out.
Yes, correct. So one's out. Whoever wins, probably in.
Who did Florida lose to?
If LSU beats Alabama twice.
They only have to play them once.
No, because the title game.
They're in the same division.
Then if LSU plays Alabama and wins.
Alabama's a one-loss team that gets in over Oklahoma.
I don't know. I don't think they do, because then LSU wins Oklahoma wins the Big 12. Either way, they have to play Baylor still, who looks good. I didn't write Jalen Hurts' stats, but I think I remember 395 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, 95 rushing yards, and 3 rushing touchdowns. So he had to find, no picks, no fumbles, fine game. His defense just
He didn't have the most important thing, though.
The win.
A win.
Well, I mean, for the Heisman, I think he's still up there.
They were getting their ass kicked for a while.
Their defense just could not stop them.
They were down by 3 scores for a
and
majority
then he just came back and kind of took over the game, but they couldn't. Their defense could not stop Kansas State. And that white fucking
that linebacker.
That linebacker is nasty. He just nobody could block him. He just got through every time.
He was Thad Castle from Blue Mountain State.
Yeah. LSU. Fucking bet on him twice. I bet on him twice. Also bet on him in game, -4.5. Had teased them down to -4, and took the over tease down to 52.5, and they covered nothing. They literally covered none of those. They won, but meaningless.
By tree.
Yes. UNC lost. Arizona State got beat the fuck up by UCLA.
Upset City.
Yeah, I mean, UCLA was supposed to be good, and so Arizona State is no longer ranked.
I think there's only 2 teams left from the
Either way,
Pac-12
I'm done.
ranked.
Yeah.
I think that's
yeah, Oregon and Utah.
The Utes.
Yep. Washington could come back into it, I think, maybe. I'm not sure.
Nah, if you're not,
they've lost 2. They can't. They've
Oregon
lost 3.
is 7 and the other one's 9. Those are the only teams that have a chance.
Utah and Oregon. Yeah, Oregon.
No one else has a shot.
Well, Utah has, interestingly, USC is winning the South, the Pac-12 South right now, because they beat Utah. And they're 5-3, and Utah is 6-1, I believe.
Correct.
They're 4-1 in the conference.
Their only loss is
to USC.
To USC.
Yes.
Yes.
And Oregon plays in the tougher
bracket.
Yeah. If you should say. I don't know if Pac-12 has tough brackets. Anyway, that was my week. It was not good. Should have bet on Iowa. I stopped betting on Iowa, and then they beat Northwestern 20-0. Covered the under, covered the spread, covered everything.
Michigan was back, too.
Oh, yeah. I did bet on Notre Dame, money line.
Michigan's back. In a big way.
They fucking... Notre Dame just got blown out of any talk anymore. They're done.
Yeah,
you don't have to talk about them.
Yeah,
well, they literally have no chance. They've lost 2 games. They need to either go... The one loss to Georgia was okay, but they couldn't lose at all.
Georgia had to win the SEC for them to get in.
They still could.
No, I'm saying if Notre Dame would have run the table, they could have gotten in only if Georgia ran the table. But Georgia doesn't matter anymore. Like you said, they're done. Notre Dame's done.
Correct.
They have the second loss.
So I know how Oklahoma gets in. LSU beats Alabama, but then loses, and then Alabama jumps them because they're already ahead of them.
They would never let Alabama's strength of schedule sucked.
So bad.
If LSU beats Alabama, they're ahead of them no matter what, even if they lose in the championship.
I think they are going to beat Alabama. 2 is a game time, by the way. It's next Saturday, and he already said it's a game time.
Yeah, this is bye week. They both have a bye.
Start him for his future.
It's 1 versus 2.
You're a bad coach as Nick Saban if you're going to put him in because you don't care about a player's future. You care about you winning games and you care about Nick Saban, not the player.
I think it's up to him. It's not up to Saban. But
No. It's kind of up to Saban.
You're having 1 versus 2, LSU versus Alabama. So the problem with Oklahoma is whoever loses that game probably isn't dropping below 4th or 5th at the worst.
Alabama should already be number 2. LSU should be number 1.
I believe that's how it is. They switched it up.
Did they switch it up?
Yeah, it switched. This is the first time.
Second time this year. Clemson was number 1, didn't lose, but dropped down.
Yeah, I think it's the first time that it's been changed 3 times without anyone losing a game.
It's pretty crazy.
It's the tightest it's ever been.
Ohio State.
Since the top 4, one of the tightest it's been in 20 years. The top 3 are the tightest it's been in 30 years. Everyone's a couple votes away from each other.
So apparently this DN from Ohio State should be leading the Heisman race. He has 13 and a half sacks right now.
Another Bosa?
No, it's everyone's been saying he's better than Bosa. He has 13 and a half sacks. He had 4 sacks against Wisconsin. Literally just dominated them. Got through the line every single time. I think he had 3 tackles for loss as well on top of those 4 sacks.
They've got a lot of big white linemen that are good.
Well, he's black, this guy.
I'm saying Wisconsin has a lot of big white dudes that are good.
Well, yeah, it's a rule of the Big Ten. I bet they all have knee braces.
Them in Iowa.
Yep. Anyway, I'm done. Go ahead.
Let's see.
Your picks from last week.
Kant once said that happiness is not an ideal of reason, but of imagination. Well, I'm imagining winning, therefore I won. Last week, I went 4-2 for +3 units.
So we both can't ever win.
Absolutely.
No, it's one has to do terrible. We can both lose terribly, but one can't ever win.
Can't both win.
No, it's not possible.
I'm 16-30 on the year for -22.88 units. Lock of the week is 3 and 4. The almost heaven lock of the week was the Cardinals +10.5 over the Saints for 4 units. That was a loss. Cardinals didn't look great. The parlay of the week was a W. Rams, Colts, and Pats on the money line for 4 units. Really got lucky on that one as the Colts had a last-minute drive and Vinatieri had the winning field goal after missing an extra point earlier in the game. Thick pick of the week.
A long one, too, like a 50-something yarder, too.
After he missed an extra point, and he missed a 40-yarder, too, I think, in the game. It was a ballsy play to play for the field goal, but it worked. Thick pick was a win. We had the Redskins teased to 22 over the Vikings, which I think they covered outright, if I'm not mistaken. And we had the Chargers teased to 10 over the Bears. That was for 2 units. The Chargers won the game outright thanks to Eddie Piñeiro's miss. The Guma of the week was another win.
Matt Nagy, great coach. Offensive mind.
So much movement, and nothing ever happens.
He said, if you run, you can fumble. They could have fumbled or lost more than a yard, so he decided to kneel and kick
a knee, yeah. He's an idiot.
Which they ran all over them that game.
And it was on the wrong hash mark.
And they hadn't fumbled once during the game.
Piñeiro won
what they had done
mark.
is miss a field goal. So it didn't make any sense.
And it's the Bears. You're haunted by kicking woes. Don't let your kicker decide the game.
Even if he's been good this year, which he has been, but he wasn't good in that game.
History is not on your side. No. Don't let him do it. Let's see. The cuck of the week. No, the win. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that was the Guma. That was Colts down to a pick'em. They won on that last second play. The Dolphins up to 20.5. They covered outright, so that was another win. The second loss was the Buccaneers plus 2.5. But I should count that as a win. I know it's a loss, but it should be a win because they had that defensive touchdown that was overturned, which was bullshit.
Well, it's not a win.
I marked it as a loss.
It is a loss.
But I should have been 5-1.
But they lost.
They scored a touchdown, and they blew it dead when the guy was 5 yards out of the end zone.
Well, it's not a touchdown.
It should have been a touchdown.
And you lost.
I feel robbed on that one.
Well, I bet they feel more robbed.
No, and I only lost by a half point anyway. But
Still lost.
last one was a backdoor win. The Christian Kirk player prop, which was not a player prop. It was the Giants +7. I had a nice little Saquon backdoor.
Well, it was just after the Giants' first quarter, they went from like having great first drives to just being terrible. And now they just play well for like the next 3 quarters.
They love backdooring. Daniel Backdoor Jones.
Best week as a quarterback in fantasy.
Correct.
Was Daniel Jones
In a
last
loss.
week.
In a loss.
Of course. As is, of course, tradition.
That's it.
All right.
He did the monster mash. It was a graveyard smash. It caught on in a flash. He did the monster mash.
So going into my picks for week 10 of college football. We're almost done here. Almost done with college football, which is pretty crazy. Got like, 3 or 4 weeks left.
And conference championship
week, which is just a overall fun week for everybody. So I organized my picks differently. I thought maybe this will help this week. I started with the SEC. I go in alphabetical order with ACC and I go that way.
And you can't pick Alabama. You can't pick LSU.
There's only like 3 SEC games. Not a lot.
Playing, yeah.
But one of the biggest one, it's the reason I played the Monster Mash. The world's largest cocktail party is this weekend.
Florida, Miami.
Georgia, Florida.
Florida, Georgia, sorry.
Oh, my God. Just don't talk. Just don't talk during college. Georgia, Florida. Florida is 6.5-point underdogs. The game's in Jacksonville. Doesn't make much sense. There will be a lot of Georgia fans there because it's not technically a swamp game, which does lessen the quality of Florida because they play so much better. I don't know. They're apparently like matched both on offense and defense. And I think you'll like this. Based on transitive property, Florida is better than Georgia because they beat South Carolina. And Florida's only loss was to LSU, which LSU is the best team in football, like by far.
I subscribe by the transitive property.
So transitive property says that Florida will cover the 6.5 points, probably win straight up. And I think 46 is low. I know it's a neutral field. I feel like neutral field neutralizes the home defense. Get it?
It's pretty close to Georgia, by the way.
Yeah, Jacksonville. Yeah. No, it's like they always do it here or like around
here. So
it's
neutral. It's literally the most neutral game you could ever have.
It's still in Florida, though.
Yeah, but I mean,
Florida's as close to Georgia as any other state could be.
Yeah, no, but Jacksonville's in the northernmost part of Florida. Jacksonville is. I just looked.
Yeah, I know where it is. It's not the northernmost part, but it's there.
The major city. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of Georgia fans. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of Georgia fans.
But there's going to be a lot of Florida fans because it's still in Florida.
Technically, you're right.
Well, not technically. I want that.
Yeah, it'll be a 50-50 crowd.
I agree with that. Either way, over 46 seems low when, like, let's see, Georgia averages 36 a game and Florida averages 32.5 a game. Even if both their defenses play well, they should score 50. Should. I say that, and, LSU Auburn was 23-20. And either way, Florida plus 6.5 and over 46. That is my SEC pick. Now, going into the Pac-12.
Yes, we've got the USA Ducks out there now.
Quack, quack, Mr. Ducksworth.
Quack, 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 quack. Go Ducks. I don't know how to pick the Pac-12. Literally, I have no idea. But I know Oregon's really good. Like, Oregon and Utah are really good. Those are the only games you can pick. After 5 straight weeks, Oregon's going to USC this week. After 5 straight weeks of only allowing 7 points or less, it was like 7-3, 6-3, 6, some shit like that. They've now allowed 31 to Washington and 35 to Wazoo. But they won both games, so... and only covered the Washington one. Wazoo was 14-point underdogs. And they almost lost to Wazoo. They had a last-minute drive to score a touchdown to win the game. Either way, I don't think USC is, like, good at all. Like, they're
Probably
not that good. Like, they're seeing... I was, like, reading, like, USC hasn't... They're 4-0 at home this year. But they haven't played anybody. And the last time a ranked team in the top 10 went to USC was last year, and they got blown the fuck out. And Notre Dame went to USC and, like, absolutely decimated them. But it was, like, last November was the last time they played a ranked team. in the top 10 at USC.
Oh, at you, because they played. Where was the Utah game? I'm assuming it was in Utah.
I believe it was in Utah. I don't know if Utah was ranked in the top 10 yet at that time.
Probably. It was in USC. They were not. Looks like they were still not. No, I don't know. Whatever the case is.
And honestly, like USC, I don't know, like Oregon, again, pretty much their whole team is seniors. Mm-hmm. Like they're all like very experienced. USC's quarterback is a freshman, true freshman, I believe, because their starting quarterback got hurt in the first game of the season. Then he's really good. But I don't think they're going to win this game. If Oregon plays any semblance of defense, they should win. Not touching the over-under. I'm only betting Oregon -5. That's it. The over-under 62.5. No idea what the fuck's going to happen there. Like, literally no clue. I don't want to touch it. It could be severely under or like 75 points like the last 2 weeks have been for them. So that is my Pac-12 pick. And now the Big 12 also can't bet on Oklahoma. They have a bye week this week, but I would have bet on them again after that loss because I'm just going to bet on them every game for the rest of the year.
Joe Burrow is the favorite to win the Heisman right now.
Definitely.
Even money. But your boy is 7-4.
Which is close to even. I mean, it's,
Well,
I mean, he had a very
2-1.
good, he didn't fuck up last week.
Better
like, it was a
than
very
2-1.
good week. Still, his defense is what fucked him.
If Burrow goes in and beats Alabama, he's the clear front runner.
That was one of the week. That was the over that I hit in that game, which was 57, and they scored 89 points total in that game.
Oklahoma, yeah.
Well, the total in that game was 89. So they went 30 points over the over.
After a slow first quarter, too.
Yeah, but then you knew by the end of the half it was like 21-17 at half or something like that. Like it was like
K-State was slow, started off real slow. Then they got it going.
Yeah. So my Big 12 pick. Horned Frogs. TCU at Oklahoma State. 3-point underdogs. The Horned Frogs have to travel to the T-Boone Pickens Stadium, my favorite stadium, and take on the best running back in the nation in Chuba Hubbard.
He's a great man.
He has 17 touchdowns this year as a running back, and only rushing touchdowns, obviously. No receive. Well, it could be. I didn't look at his receiving stats. I don't think he has any, but I know 17 rushing touchdowns. He has 4 games over 200 yards rushing. I mean, I think TCU has a bad defense. They're not great, but I think they have a decent passing defense. So they can just let him run as much. They let him score 4 touchdowns, and they have like a good offense, obviously, because they just went into Texas and beat Texas. Couple of reasons. So I think they're going to let him score, but they're going to score a lot of points. Both these teams played Texas this year. Only one beat them, and that's TCU.
Transitive
property comes back again, and TCU is better than Oklahoma State, and they're going to win this game. Fuck the spread. TCU money line. Also, definitely take the over 59.5.
I like it.
Let's go into the big incompetent game. Big Ten also. I'm going into the Big Ten. Also has no really big games this year, but
Yeah! Crab cakes and football! Nice. That's what Maryland does!
Hey, buddy.
Michigan at Maryland. So based on that, you would think I'm taking Maryland. I cannot.
Yeah, I would hope not. Michigan looks like they're back.
I don't know if back is a thing. They're just playing like they should have been.
You got 3 undefeated teams in the Big Ten so far. Penn State, Ohio State, and Minnesota.
Minnesota looks really fucking good. Like, really, really, really good. Michigan just murdered Notre Dame. I don't understand. There's certain games I don't get. Notre Dame has looked fantastic all year. Like, played Georgia very well. Like, Georgia only beat them by 7. They're supposed to beat them by, like, 20. Like, very, very, very well. Kept the game close. Beat Virginia, like, pretty handily, and they were, like, the 18th ranked team in the nation. And then they go into Michigan and just fucking dud. Like, what was it, 52-14? Like, fucking murdered them.
It was not good.
Now, Maryland, let's go into some Maryland stats. So they, in the first 2 games, they scored 142 points. Since then, they've been pure doo-doo butter. Pooh Richardson.
Richardson.
They have been Pooh Richardson since those first 2 games.
Bimbo Coles.
In the next 6 weeks, they've scored a total of 127 points.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, God.
And the only reason they're
That's
even that
terrible.
high is because they beat Rutgers by 48-10. That's the only reason they're even over 100 points in the
That's
next
pathetic.
6 weeks. So they're not good, like, at all. So I was going to take 21 because I don't want to bet on Michigan, Maryland plus 21. But I'm going to take Michigan minus 21 and the over 56 because I think Michigan could score 60 this week because they're on the fuck you tour now because everyone hates them and thinks they're garbage.
Minnesota's got, listen to the next 4 weeks for Minnesota. Penn State, at Iowa, Northwestern, and then Wisconsin. That's not good. They might go 1-3.
Yeah, but look at who they've played. They've beaten good teams. They're good.
Maryland, Rutgers, Nebraska, Illinois, Purdue.
Illinois beat Wisconsin. Transitive property. Minnesota's better. Purdue played.
They've beaten a 4-4 team, another 4-4 team, a 2-6 team, a 2-6 team. But these teams are supposed to be good preseason, the teams they beat. So, and Maryland at one point looked great. So we'll see what happens. But I don't know.
I think Minnesota is like they have a good defense. They haven't let anybody score like more than 10 points as well. Like, they have a very good defense and a very good offense.
They had the option to flex their game against Penn State to nighttime this weekend, and they said, "Nah, we're good. We're
you
playing
know
at
what?
noon."
It's at Minnesota.
They said, "Nah, we just want to play it at noon."
That's smart.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like
There must be some stat about Penn State at night and how much better they are at night.
I would
Like
just
no matter
want-
home or away.
I would want a crowd full of drunk, rowdy fans at 8:00 rather than noon.
Or there will be a crowd full of drunk rowdy. And
Yeah, but
what's the
all
weather?
day
What's the weather?
drinking.
You don't know the weather.
If
Like
it's
there's
bad-
they
you-
definitely
if it's
read
bad weather. That would also help the night.
Is game day there? I would assume game day is going there.
Doesn't game day only do the night game though?
No, game day does whatever the big game is. They did the Oklahoma Texas, I think, at Texas, and that was a 3:30 start. They do whatever. They change the end of the last week. Like they pick where they're going next week at that week. Sometimes there's like 2 weeks in advance, like Notre Dame, USC. They'll always go there certain games.
They're going to SMU against Memphis.
Oh, undefeated SMU.
8-0 versus 24. So this is SMU needs this to give a little credibility.
And what are they ranked right now? 16th, probably.
Yeah, 15th.
Yeah.
So they need this.
Hey, they beat TCU, which Transitive Property says they're better than Texas.
Correct.
So this is loved a lot of Transitive Property going on this episode. Yeah, Minnesota is. I don't know. They're really good. I think that game's going to be good. All right. To reiterate, Big Ten, Michigan minus 21 and over 56. And now, if I can find this, I'm going to go into. Oh, I can't find it. Give me a minute. I've added so many. Is this it? So once again, continue. I had two good weeks of blow back to back where I was like not losing. I was winning, and then I pushed last week. I was like, this is great. And then, or 2 weeks ago. And then last week I had 3 losses, 3 blow picks. So $150 lost there. Not great, Bob.
Not great.
So my blow is going to be the ACC, which not many games this week either. And Clemson's playing fucking Wofford in week 10. What is that? They should be out of the top 10. They should be out of the top 5 at least. You can't be playing every other team, every other conference is playing big teams. Clemson hasn't played a big game all year.
Alabama doesn't.
Alabama, but they're playing SEC teams. Is Wofford even a ACC? It's not. It's like I have no idea what it is. It's a Maction team. I
Clemson
assume.
didn't have a bye week, I don't think, though, did they?
I believe they. I don't. Either way, they shouldn't be playing Wofford week 10. Like Alabama played Arkansas. They don't have the best schedule, but they're still playing SEC teams. And they make these schedules.
Is it better to have a bye or to not play at all, or to play Wofford? I'd say it's better to just play Wofford.
Well, for Alabama, you take the bye because Tua's out. They still beat Arkansas.
I'm just saying.
What,
in
they beat
general.
Arkansas 48-7 without Tua.
They did have a bye week, actually.
Oh, Clemson.
Right
Interesting.
after UNC.
Oh, right after they almost lost to Mac Brown because he didn't want to kick the extra point because he knew he was going to lose in overtime. Smart move, though. So I am going to take. I don't think I did anything for this one. Let me see. Nope. NC State at Wake Forest. Interesting pick. So UNC's disappointed me 2 weeks in a row, and they're not like getting crushed, but they lost. They're not getting crushed at all. I took a money line and they didn't fucking cover. It's fucking crazy. Wake Forest is actually good. They're 6-1. It's kind of crazy to me. The Demon Deacons.
Well, like you said, their division sucks.
They're the tobacco. Have you ever been to Wake Forest, around that area?
I have not.
So Wake Forest is actually like next to the Philip Morris or whatever factory right there, and it smells like fresh tobacco. Like
That's why it's
I've
called
had friends
Tobacco
go
Road.
there. I've had friends go there like, yeah, like you either start dipping if you didn't, or you start smoking because it's just there's no reason not to. It's like delicious tasting down there because it's actually at the factory. So they're the real Tobacco Road school. But since nobody really knows anything about their football, I thought we'd go into their best basketball players.
Timmy.
So yeah, the big fundamental, Tim Duncan, CP3, Jeff Teague. I have him tied with Muggsy Bogues.
CP3 is such a dick. He hits people in the dick.
Yeah, CP3 is a dick, but I don't know. He's up there. Josh Howard, Randolph Childress,
Okay.
who is apparently he's an assistant coach at Wake Forest now, or is going back this year, started the season to be assistant coach.
The second best Childress to ever play in the NBA.
Who's the other one?
Josh.
Childress. Yeah. Al Farouk Aminu.
Oh, he's got to be higher on that list.
He's with Jeff Teague. He's in. I mean, this is
just
also
people.
a statistical list
Okay.
when they played there.
Gotcha.
Like how well they did. James Johnson.
Still in the NBA on
Yep.
the Heat, even though actually they told him to go home for the first week because he was fat.
Makes sense. He was like fat at the end of last year, I feel like. So he's just out of shape.
They paid him. That's what happens when you pay someone.
And then Rod Griffin, old guy, very good. Len Chappell, another old guy. He was on Wake Forest in their sole Final Four team in 1962, and he was in the Elite Eight with them the year before. And I also wanted to include him because his head coach was Bones McKinney.
Bones!
Yep, Bones. And then also I want to talk, is Demon Deacon an oxymoron? A deacon, they refer to it as the Baptist ministers down there are deacons. So a demon deacon.
It's in most, like it's the Catholic Church also has deacons.
Yeah, no, I know. But they're like the Baptist ministers are also deacons. So it's a demon deacon. Is that so the spawn of Satan and the leader of a church. But not a satanic church, a Catholic.
Smart enough to infiltrate the church. That's extra dangerous.
So I did some research. They got named the Demon Deacons in 1923. They used to be called the Baptists before that. Which
Way better name now.
Yeah.
Way better.
Oh, that was like one of the best names, untalked about names, by some writer who said they're devilish players like a demon deacon. And then it just stuck. Everybody loved it. The first time they introduced the actual mascot, a student in 1941 found an old tuxedo, a top hat, and he led Wake Forest onto the field against UNC while riding the UNC Ram, which I found this on Wikipedia, so they might have BNN'd me, but sounds like a great story. Like he rode a Ram, the other team's Ram, into the stadium.
The Tar Heel.
It's a Ram, a Tar Heel.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, okay. Anyway, now he rides a motorcycle like Nick Cage and Ghost Rider.
Nice. I hope you could see.
So yeah, back to football. I just wanted to go through some Wake Forest stats. Do love Wake Forest. Their only losses to Louisville, who's been shockingly good, because Louisville's only losses have been to very good teams, and they lost 62-59 Louisville. And NC State is not good, and they're more like the Cub Pack, not the Wolf Pack, and they're going to lose this week. Demon Deacons -7.5 and over 60 for no particular reason other than fuck the under and let's go points. And that was my Halloween blow.
He did the monster mash.
I'm done. That was it.
all right.
That was it, Chris. When I'm done with the blow, that's the end of my picks.
Distinguished guests, gather around, hush your mouths, and open your ear holes. Bones, I was watching The Office last night and heard some sage wisdom given by Michael Scott to Dwight Schrute, who then imparted that advice to Ryan Howard, who then passed it down to me via Netflix on my iPad. Keep it simple, stupid. KISS. So this week's theme you would think would be all Kiss songs, right?
I hope so.
Wrong!
I love Kiss. Why would you do this to me?
Kiss sucks. Super overrated. So then that got me thinking about, well, what about my first kiss? Shout out Gina Ricci on the side of Leonia Middle School when I was in 6th grade while I felt up your boobies. In hindsight, it was probably just a padded bra. Definitely tucked up the boner into the waistband on that fateful spring afternoon. Boner Jams 99, baby.
And that was the last boner Z got.
Correct. So this week, we're going to keep it simple, Bones. I'm only giving you 3 picks that I love. 6 minus 3. 1.5 times 2. 300 divided by 15 minus 19 plus 2 times 1. 3. The number of pitch-perfect movies that have been made. In the wise words of Adam Baker, three banks. I've got stuff to do, Ma. Give me the hot dogs and taters. All you have to do is listen up to the old been talked about, always hyped, but best faded. 3 picks from the 6 borough, bright lights, big cities. Follow me, Z, to bankruptcy. First up, our almost heaven lock of the week. We are taking the Cleveland Browns -3 over the Denver Broncos. What? Hear me out. 10 units. 10 units. Bones, what nationality was Das Sound Machine?
German.
That's right. And if history tells us one thing, you don't mess with the Germans. Side note, Hitler would have hated the Cleveland's team name, the color of the skin. Baker Mayfield is Das Sound Machine of the NFL. Its greatest villain.
Is he German?
No, but he's the greatest villain.
Okay.
Baker Mayfield will be the kicker of ass. I know what you're thinking. Why would I have any confidence in the Browns? The starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos this week is Brandon Allen.
Well, Allens have done well in the NFL this year.
Brandon Allen, not Kyle. Brandon.
His good brother. What if he's a better version of his brother?
They're not brothers.
Well,
fun facts about him. He's 27 years old, making his first NFL start. He's currently on his 3rd team, but he's so good that he sat behind legends of the game like Chad Henne and Blake Bortles and Jared Goff and Sean Mannion and Joe Flacco. He has 2 names. No trust in people with 2 names.
You mean 2 first names? Everyone.
2 first names.
Yeah, okay.
2 first names. He is the son of Bobby Allen. 10 units on the almost heaven lock of the week. Cleveland -3. This is the easiest pick of the year. Our parlay of the week, aptly named the Owl, because one will lose.
You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my hair. You're gonna miss me everywhere. Oh.
We're taking a 4-team moneyline parlay for 5 units, plus 317. Tell me where I go wrong. Bills over the Redskins. Browns over the Broncos.
Wrong.
Eagles over the Bears. Panthers over the Titans. That's right, plus 317. We are all in on the Browns. I've already talked about Bobby Allen's son, Brandon. Let's look for Bills Mafia to make an offer they can't refuse to the R words. Dwayne Haskins is set to be under center for the Redskins, leaving Case Keenum on the sideline saying, "You're going to miss me when I'm gone." The Eagles are showing signs of life, unlike their quarterback, who is a ginger and without a soul. The only bad thing about the Eagles is their pass defense, and since Mitch Trubisky couldn't fuck his way out of a paper bag, I feel pretty good about this one. Last one, Titans, total frauds. This is the Kyle Bumper Allen bounce back game. P.S. Anna Kendrick, I love you, and I'd let you fart in my face free of charge. 5 units on the Owls, the Owl, I guess, too. Bills, Browns, Eagles, Panthers on the money line, plus 317. Speaking of Bumper Allen, next up, our weekly teaser, a.k.a. our thick pick of the week, because a little extra never hurt.
It's underwater, but I'm breathing fine.
3-team teaser. 3-team teaser. 10 points each on them. Cardinals, 49ers over 33. Buccaneers, plus 16.5. Seahawks, over the Seahawks. And then the Bills down to a pick'em over the Redskins. 5 units. We already discussed Bills Mafia. And I know what you're saying. I'm taking Jameis Winston, the man with 14 touchdowns and 14 turnovers this year. But here are some stats. Well, actually just facts. The Seahawks center got hurt this week. Huge loss. They are 2-2 at home this year. One of those wins is over the Bungles by 1 point. I feel great about this. The 49ers, total fraud. Plain and simple. I'm not buying into it. Short week, high-tempo offense of Arizona. Going to get the best of them. Shout out to friend of the pod, George Kittle. We're going with 5 units on the thick pick of the week. Cardinals, Niners, over 33. Bucks, plus 16.5. Bills, pick them.
Why don't you just take the Cardinals with the points then, if you really think they're frauds? The Niners are frauds.
I still like the over in this game because I like it better. I'd rather take the over because...
Well, yeah, it's 33. That is low.
Well, it's 43. It's teased down to 33.
10 points?
Yeah, 3-team teaser is 10 points.
Ah.
So that's why we're doing that. The 49ers have a good defense, quote unquote, but they're going to be tired. It's a short week. Cardinals have a good offense. Kenyon Drake, he'll jump in seamlessly. And the Cardinals...
Seamlessly, like he's been good his whole career. He's never been good.
He's never been on a good team.
Running backs don't have to be on a good team. Look at Saquon Barkley.
He's a pass-catching back.
Look at Saquon Barkley. He has never been on a good team. He won Rookie of the Year on one of the worst teams in football. Won 3 games last year. He's still good.
He's a running back. Kenyon Drake is a pass-catching back.
So is Barkley. He does both.
Yeah, Barkley's like the best running back in the NFL.
I know, but
this is like the Chris Thompson of now the Cardinals. And Chris Thompson, when he was on good teams, was pretty fucking good for that team.
I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong. I think San
pass-catching-
Francisco has by far the best defense in the NFL. It's hands down the best defense. Better than the Patriots. They've played better teams.
The Patriots are breaking every record you could ever imagine.
Against the worst teams in football.
Who the 49ers played?
The Seahawks, right? They beat the Seahawks. Let's look at their
Rams,
schedule.
the Seahawks.
The Rams, they held to 7 points. They score 40 to 50 points a game,
That was
7
a
points.
fluky game.
There's only 16 games in a season. You can't call all of them flukes. They're undefeated for a reason, and it's their defense. And
They've not played the Seahawks, I don't think, actually. And if they did, they gave up points. They're giving up points to teams, though. So if you give up points, you can't have the best defense. The Patriots give no points up to anyone.
They gave up points to the Giants and the Bills, and not the Jets, because they skull-fuck the Jets. They love skull-fucking the Jets.
They've scored more touchdowns than they've given up. I would say that's the hallmark of a pretty good defense. There are 3 more bets I'll throw in there. Not going to do a whole song and dance in them, just to give you the full 6 picks. The Cuck of the week, the underdog, Dolphins +3 at home over the Jets. The Guma of the week, Redskins, Bills under 37. It's supposed to be really bad weather, and if Haskin plays, I would take this at 17.
They just beat the Panthers 51-13.
In London. You said weird things happen in London.
I did say that.
Yeah.
Was that game in London?
I thought it was.
I don't know what games are in London. There's so many games in London. No idea what games are in London. And now they have them at 1, so I have no clue then.
The Jags are playing this week in London.
Well, I just assumed they were always playing in
at
London.
9:30 though, so it's nice that we know what time it is.
Do you know why they're playing there? Because the Florida-Georgia game is more important, and assume that's a night game, and they don't want to have to redo the field and clean the stadium afterwards.
Last pick, we're bringing back the Christian Kirk player prop over catches. He's a machine. He's back in midseason form. In time for midseason. Those are my 6 picks from the 6 borough. I hope they make you as financially unstable as I am. Oh, shit.
Hello, Bones.
I know what. Hi, Stu. I know what 2:07 Pacific time means. You texted me right on the dot.
Well, yeah, because I was ready at 2:07.
How are you, Stu?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Are we recording?
We're recording.
Hey, Stu!
Oh, yeah, put on that radio voice.
Oh, my God. He's
joining us from OwlEatsFootball.com, the handicapper with the most, except for last week, Stu!
Oh, yeah, last week was not a good week. That's why I was so eager to get back on today, because I didn't feel good about last week in my defense, but I feel very good about this week, and we're going to talk about why. But thanks for having me back.
Hey, you're going to need to really, really rally here because by my account, you were 0-2 with the Seahawks, a winner depending on any single-digit number that you got it at.
Yeah, and I don't believe I put any snatches on the line officially last week, so I think I was saved by our incompetence there.
Correct. I do not have any snatches written down.
Okay, perfect. So I've still got a boatload of snatches, and we're going to use them all this week.
Nice.
So many snatches.
Nice.
Well, yeah. Should we dive right into it?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
I'm excited.
Oh, fantastic.
We have 7 minutes left with your time since you had 15 minutes at 2 o'clock. But go.
It resets now. I have 15 minutes from 2:07 Pacific time. So
okay,
it's perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm really excited because I feel like my lock of the week is one of our stronger locks, and we've been pretty good about locks in general. Green Bay -4 at the Chargers, I think, is just a ridiculous line.
Yuck.
Are you agreeing with me or disagreeing with me?
Disagreeing from Z over there.
Oh my goodness, disagree. So you're pro Chargers. You're the only person in America who's pro Chargers.
What was the last game the Chargers have won or lost by less than a score? By more than a score?
Yeah, what was the last game Green Bay's won by single digits?
Wow.
I guess the last game. By less than a touchdown, we'll put it.
I guess it's your typical chicken or egg or train meets wall scenario here.
And this game's in LA?
This game's in LA, but that's not
it's not
a home game for the Chargers.
It's basically a home
game for Green Bay.
Yeah, it's vacation season for Green Bay fans. They like it way colder in Green Bay, so they go on vacation right now to LA to watch this game.
Well, and just to back this up with some facts, the Chargers are very injured. They just fired their offensive coordinator, which could be a positive, but if you look at historical trends, does not relate in a huge offensive outburst the next week. Green Bay has a better defense, a better offense, is playing better, has better coaching, and is not technically on the road for this game. So I just feel like that -4 is begging to be bet, and we're gonna put 7,000 snatches on that.
Whoa! Is that like $7 million?
$7,000
$700,000.
How much is a snatch for you? $1?
It's like Bitcoin. It changes every day.
Okay. All right.
But just to protect ourselves there, we're going to kind of have like a sneaky second lock of the week, and we're going to take the Patriots -4 for another 7,000 snatches.
In Baltimore? This might be the game. This is
in Baltimore?
Yeah, right? This is in Baltimore, right?
Yep, this is in Baltimore. But the way I see it, and, a little plug here, if you read on Al Eats Football Tonight, there'll be an article up all about these games. But that specific game, Bill Belichick is really good at taking away the other team's best weapon, and the Ravens happen to only have one weapon. And so with a full defense committed to stopping Lamar Jackson, I don't know who will score for the Ravens.
What do you think?
Isn't the worst part of the Patriots defense their rush defense, though? Right?
Yeah, but what passing game are we going to have to stop in this game?
You're going to have to stop the rushing game, run game.
Are you going to force Jackson to throw, or are you going to let him run? What's the Bill Belichick idea today?
Well, I don't know Bill Belichick's idea, but what I do know is that he is very flexible, and he could put an extra linebacker in this game. If you remember, I think it was last season. The Chargers beat the Ravens in the playoffs. Is that correct? Am I messing that up?
Yeah, Ravens were a wild card, and yes,
they played back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, and the Chargers put an extra linebacker in that game, or an extra safety as a linebacker, to basically just stop Lamar Jackson, and the Ravens fell apart. Correct. So if we look at this, we're saying that Bill Belichick, A, doesn't know that, and B, doesn't have the defensive ability to stop a single-player offense.
Yeah, but now they have Hollywood Brown to stretch the field.
Stephon Gilmore takes care of him. That's one player on one. He's done. They have Mark Andrews, who drops, I think, 4 passes a game.
He loves to drop the ball. He has rocks for hands.
He does. And he's clearly shook. He's like Chuck Knobloch right now.
My favorite baseball player of all time.
That's a hot take. That's good. I like that. Well, then your favorite football player should be Mark Andrews.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Okay. I'll take. You took like a week off from betting the Pats, and then they dominated the Jets. And
I bet him. I just didn't announce it on a podcast. Okay. I bet him every week.
Okay.
Yeah. They're Another note is they're 6-2 against the spread this season, and Baltimore is either 2-5 or 2-6. I forgot. But Patriots dominate the spread. Ravens don't.
Okay.
I like it.
All right. We'll agree with you.
I like it so much I don't like it, actually, because I don't like it. I don't like either one.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I just think the Ravens don't play well. The Ravens win games, but they don't play well. Patriots play well and win games.
How do you pass over the Cleveland Browns playing a guy named Brandon Allen as a lock?
Who are they playing?
There are numbers.
Brandon Allen.
Who?
Yeah.
Who's he on?
The Broncos.
The Broncos.
Oh, yeah, the backup. Well, because, yeah, okay. It's the Browns, though. Look at the Browns. Look at what they've done this year.
Yeah.
They played well against the Pats last week.
And lost. And well as a player.
I think they played pretty well. They should have covered that game. There was no excuse
Didn't
for them
Baker
to
throw
not
3
cover.
picks? Was that right, or was that the week before? I don't know. He throws a lot of picks. I can't really remember. Wait, Stu, real quick. So Devin McCourty has the most interceptions in the NFL for a single player at 5. Do you know who number 2 is?
No, I don't.
Janoris Jenkins on the Giants with 4.
No way.
Yeah.
JackRabbit.
The two opposite defenses, the 2 leaders in interceptions.
I guess that's what happens when you get thrown out on every single play.
Correct.
Got some interceptions.
And I think he had 2 against the Redskins when Dwayne Haskins came in.
Oh God!
I think he had 1 last week, I believe, as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hey, man, we got Leonard Williams. Everyone said it was a bad trade. I think it was a great trade. We give a 3rd round and a 5th round. Great trade.
But can't he walk after the season? Don't you need to re-sign him?
Correct.
So you basically gave up 2 draft picks for the right to have first dibs.
But what we have picked up a lot of picks from the other trades we've done before the season, like the Odell trades, and then the what's his name, Olivier Vernon trade.
Oh right, fair enough.
So both of those.
Honestly, the Giants are like 1 foot in each camp. They're accruing picks, but they're also trading picks. Like I feel like you guys just need to lead into a tank. Like I don't know. Watch the Dolphins. The Dolphins know how to do it.
We might sign him next year. I don't know. Dolphins this is the first time in the history of me watching football that I've ever seen a team actually tank. They are legitimately tanking. But
they're so good at it.
Yeah, they're really good at it. They've traded every player. 3rd and 20 to end the half this week, and they let a touchdown be scored. How is that possible?
Yeah, it's genius. It's genius. They get out to a 14-point lead, and then they slowly bleed 27 points. So they look good.
And the GM calls down and says, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" Stop
exactly.
it.
Yeah, halftime speech.
Yeah,
I can't wait for them to beat the Patriots in Week 17. It's gonna be wonderful.
It'll be a meaningless game.
When do they play the Bengals? They play the Bengals like week 16 or something?
16.
Week 16. It could be the record. They could both be 0-14, which would be the record for the longest into a season that 2 teams would be defeated. The previous record was 0-6 for 2 teams who played in 96, I think it was.
Wow. Look at you with the stats.
This year we featured 2 0-5 teams who played each other, the Redskins and the Dolphins.
Oh man, what a season. Great time to be alive.
Stu, what's the deepest into a season that 2 teams were defeated?
Deepest into a season 2 teams were defeated? 10 games?
Yeah, 0-10, week 11.
Ooh.
Who were the 2 teams?
Was one of them the Lions?
It was like an 86, I think.
Oh, it wasn't
like
the Lions. It wasn't like Lions Browns when Lions went 0-16.
No, I think it was. Like
that's what I was thinking.
That's good. Yeah, that's because Browns were winning like a game a year.
So that Bungles Dolphins matchup could be pretty literally record breaking.
Well, and it is just cool to see like Cincinnati benches Andy Dalton, Miami trades Kenyon Drake. Like it is a reverse arms race right now.
I love it,
and it's really cool. Yeah, well, it's a legs race.
If those are your arms as quarterback, you don't really have any.
That's true, yeah. Although, I mean, putting a backup quarterback in behind that offensive line is suicide. So we'll see what happens. But
we have to wait a week to bet against them.
I know. I can't wait. But, yeah, Cleveland worries me a little bit just because I can't tell. Like, did you see Baker Mayfield's storming off?
Literally just saw this. Yeah, just watched this.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
What did he do?
He flipped out at a reporter. Like
today?
I don't know if it was after
Yeah,
the game.
today.
It was today, right? Okay.
Yeah,
It's
today.
like you weren't on the field. You don't know. You don't play football. We play football, and you just got up and left.
Makes my lock of the week feel so good now.
Yes. But yeah, just one other game that's not a upset. I love Indianapolis at Pittsburgh. There's a million things out on the internet saying like, be careful of this game. It seems obvious, but it's not. But I don't care. We'll make it my dick pick because that's where I feel this game. And I'm pretty sure Indianapolis is going to win. So we'll throw 1,000 snatches on that.
Wow,
I'm
dick
with,
pick.
I'm with you on that one. I do agree with that pick.
Because Jacoby
Excellent.
Brisket definitely has a bigger dick than Mason Rudolph.
100%. And I
yes,
love Mason
100%.
Rudolph. Don't get me wrong. I love Mason Rudolph. But
Did you notice his head grew like 3 sizes because it's so swollen
Oh,
from
yeah.
get that massive concussion he took? I don't even know if he knows where he is right now.
his name's Mason Rudolph. That's his name.
There's no blood left to go down to his dick, so it's shrinking, and Jacoby Brissett's going to come in and win.
I don't hate it. I've bet against Indy so many times this year, and I'm always wrong. They just keep winning.
Well, they keep winning. We're going to win with them this week. So that's a total of 15,000 snatches on those games. And then we're going to sprinkle a couple on 3 different upsets. And then unfortunately, I got to go.
Okay.
But I like Detroit +2 at Oakland. I kind of love Jacksonville +2, +1.5 in London against Houston, because London is basically a home game for Jacksonville. And then I'm intrigued by Chicago +5 at Philly.
Jacksonville love. Chicago
Okay.
sucks.
Chicago does suck, but I think what people are underrating is that their defense is still good.
Not the
And-
run defense is not good, though.
Their run defense is fine. I think it looks bad in spurts, but if you look at their points let up per game, their scoring defense is excellent. And Philadelphia, they just beat Buffalo, which everyone feels great about them, but I feel like every week everyone goes from one extreme to the other on Philadelphia.
Oh, I don't feel great
I
about
think-
them. I just never thought Buffalo was that good. And
Well, Philly's big weakness is their pass defense, and I don't know about you, Stu, but I don't think Mitch Trubisky really inspires much confidence in shredding
it's not even
a
that. It's
secondary.
Nate. It's fucking their head coach.
Nate,
Kneels the ball
lot
to
of
make it a
movement.
42-yard field goal when their kicker missed a 33-yard field goal earlier in the game.
Eddie Piñero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doink.
Yeah, so I don't feel great about that one, I'll be honest. But Detroit +2 and Jacksonville +2 or 1.5, whatever you're getting for it, I love.
Okay. All right, Stu, anything else? I know you got to run. You have a minute and 10 seconds left.
Oh my goodness.
We're not
No,
counting.
nothing else. New basketball article up.
Nice.
We're winning a lot of money betting on the Mavericks, which isn't a surprise to anybody who knows me. Tall white European players are my weakness. So
Keep doing that.
Keep betting on them.
doing that till the second month of the season when Kristaps Porzingis gets tired and hurt.
Isn't he on a minutes limit right now?
yeah.
No,
Well, we
no,
also
he's going to get hurt or rape someone.
No, that's
we
only
also
when he's on the
clarified
Knicks. Sorry.
exactly. Once you leave the Knicks, all your weaknesses go away.
You literally become a way better player.
Unless you're RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett's pretty good.
He's playing well.
The goals,
But no, nothing too much other than that. Just check out the site, listen to this podcast, and win some snatches.
All right, Stu.
Stu
All right, fellas.
Thanks for your
from
picks.
owleatsfootball.com, our presenting sponsor.
See you guys later.
All right, goodbye.
Later.
Bye.